currently traveling 5,000 miles to taste the world's best steak. Now, you may be wondering, where on earth can you find such a delicacy? Well, let me explain. Well, when you look up what country has the best steak in the world, Argentina seems to be like the clear winner, so that's exactly where we're heading. Make sure to stay into the end of this video because we are trying steaks from the most traditional, authentic style in Argentina to the restaurant that some people say has the best steak in the entire world. This is our first glimpse into the traditional preparation of asado. We have an amazing chef here that has been explaining to me all of the different processes. They start by first rinsing off all of the different meats and then bringing them over here to hang them on the hooks. And they actually have a really fascinating type of barbecue happening here. They use a special type of wood that is very aerated so that the oven burns very, very hot, and it heats up all of these different coals that are hidden underneath, which he then scoops out and places equally underneath the entire grill. And this grill is actually interesting because it is on a lever system, so they can move the levers up and down depending on the temperature that they want to be cooking the meat at, which is where I'm sure this many years of expertise comes in handy when they're preparing these meats. They have a lot of different types of meat here. They've got the tenderloins, intestines. They have 3 different types of sausages, including blood sausage, chicken, and as far as seasonings go, I'm amazed with how simple it is. They begin cooking with only a thin layer of salt on the meat, and I think what the secret ingredient is with asado is this interesting conglomeration of sauce and different seasonings and herbs, but overall a really, really simple process so you can truly taste all of the different flavors of the meat. So, oh, it's about done and I'm excited to try it out. Traditionally with asado, there is an order to which everything is served. So first thing that comes off of the grill is the sausages. We have a blood sausage, a chorizo, and also a bit of the intestines as well. Then after that comes the pork, and then later comes the main event, the ribeyes. So this one is the chorizo. Wow, you can really taste that this was cooked over the wood burning coals. So crispy on the outside. The chorizo in the middle is like very soft and delicate, but has that crisp outside. Wow, this is gonna be an incredible meal. I think the chicken might win over the pork.
So when something is too good and you need a point of reference to compare it, you say this is better than eating chicken with the hand, which is what you are doing right now.
Well, I don't know. Some things make it better than this, but for now, this is incredible. But we just got our first piece of the beef. This is what I've been most excited for since we got here. It's all the other meats are great, but it's all about the beef for me. Across each of the different pieces of meat is incredible, and I can't really say enough about this ambiance too in the estate that we're at right now. They have all of their different cattle on the property, as well as horses, chickens. A lot of the different things that we're seeing here on the table were prepared right here, which I think is incredibly special and a unique experience to have. There's this beautiful estate behind us. Oh, I can't think of a better way to be getting a little bit more of a glimpse outside of the city into the meat culture here. It's a perfect place for the asado. We just arrived at our first butcher in Buenos Aires, and it's so funny as we walk in the door. Maria said that it's all men in here. It's very typical for only men to come buy the meats, and she also said this would be a great place to meet a guy. She was just explaining that it's common to see these vacuum sealed packs. They're like some of the best cuts of the meat, and she said it's really common for them to take this traveling. So you could just take this sealed piece of meat with some ice packs and take it back to the US, take it to Europe, and then eat it as soon as you get there. It's pretty unique. Now we're getting a behind the scenes look. Oh, gracias. Inside of the butcher shop. Wow. So right now they're actually cutting some pork, and it's really interesting to see the technique in which they are cutting all of these different pieces of meat. Of course, it's very important to cut at the right grain, the right shape for the meat to taste the best. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful! We just found the absolute mecca of all Argentinian steak. So once they have everything cleaned, cut, and packaged, it comes to the front of the butcher shop right here to be sold. We just stopped by to see the butcher shop and met the owner here. His restaurant was just down the street, so he invited us to come take a little taste test of what he's been cooking up. And of course, this looks insane. This may be debatably the most beautiful rib I've ever seen in my entire life. Whoa. Absolutely an explosion of flavor with that. There's a very, very thin, very subtle layer of some kind of barbecue sauce across the top, but that, especially that extra salt he drenched on top of it at the end. Really, really salty, but so packed with flavor. The fat just dissolves in your mouth. This is incredible. So good.
It was so good.
Terrible day in the office.
Worst job ever. Oh my God.
We're now just driving past the heart of Buenos Aires, and I can only imagine how crazy the streets were here only just a few months ago when Argentina won the World Cup. And by the way, you cannot travel to Argentina without seeing a soccer game, so of course we've done that as well. Take another bite into a juicy steak. I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, LATAM Airlines. LATAM is the largest airline in South America, connecting over 140 destinations across the continent. I have already had the opportunity to travel with LATAM Airlines to Peru, Chile, Colombia, and Brazil. They are truly experts in flights all over South America. I traveled all the way to Argentina with LATAM to experience the country's incredible gastronomy, as well as the colorful city of Buenos Aires. And I have to say, so far, this has been the trip of a lifetime. And let me tell you, their non-stop flights and comfort options are amazing. I traveled on the direct flight from Miami to Sao Paulo in the business class cabin and to Buenos Aires in premium and economy. And I gotta say, these were some of the most comfortable flights I have ever had. It's no wonder they've won the Best Airline in South America award 3 years in a row with quality onboard service and in-flight entertainment. So thank you LATAM Airlines for opening these doors to the incredible experiences here in Argentina. If you're ready to book your next trip to South America, don't forget to click the link in my description. And now let's get back to the adventure.
hope you like meat.
First bite of this Wagyu. Wow. And like the oils from the fat make this so juicy. Wow. That's incredible. This one actually cuts even easier than the Wagyu does, actually. That's always a good sign. It's got like a nice char on both sides, but still nice and like medium rare in the middle. I gotta say the Wagyu wins this one. I think what was different with the Wagyu was that the like fat was a bit more like equally marbled throughout the entire piece of meat, where in the ribeye it's a bit more like sectional streaks. Like you see when it's raw, the streaks of fat. But I'm not complaining. These are some exceptional pieces of meat right here. Wow. Oh, dig in, everybody.
This is like Franca, wine and fire. So we combine those things that I think it's really important for our culture. So what the Wagyu has like from special is the fats it has.
Wow.
So that's what it makes it like so soft in yeah, when you eat it.
It's exactly what I was describing when we were eating this. It's like perfectly marbled throughout, like evenly. Incredible. I love seeing this kind of behind the scenes of how especially some of these top restaurants in Buenos Aires are actually hands-on preparing all of their different meats for each day, each week. It's fascinating. I'm extremely new on my cooking journey. I do enjoy cooking myself some steaks, so I'm curious what kind of takeaways I can get to improve my own steaks when I get back home. This is a selfish endeavor is what I'm trying to say. As soon as we walked up to the entrance of Don Julio, they handed us a nice little glass of champagne while we're waiting in line, which actually there is a significant amount of people waiting outside of this place. Our friend Tomas, who is from Buenos Aires, said that he has actually never been here before because it's almost impossible to get in. So this is going to be a pretty unique experience. And they also gave us little empanadas while we're waiting in line as well. We're off to a good start. But we're actually going to be coming back to the restaurant because we're going to go take a look at their garden and the butcher shop across the street. Going inside. So much meat. Now we're gonna go downstairs to take a look at the cellar.
Okay, so welcome to the cellar of Don Julio. So wait, here we have 15,000 bottles of wine.
15,000?
15,000, yes. All Argentinian wine.
Oh, this is gorgeous. Wow.
If you try, then with your mouth and touch the texture, it's revealed, and we are going to try to understand and believe that we definitely make a travel to the city where the wine's born.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, and now you are going to try again. Close your eye. I'm going to give you the texture. Okay. Okay, the sensation and the feeling that you are experimenting in this wine, it's a wine from, it's a seed. It's like you have in your hand. The tongue is very light, and the body of your, obviously, you are going to touch. It's a nice. It's not a punch. It's not a recipe. Yes. This is a sensation of wines from that area, and this is San Pablo. Okay.
This bottle is from 1938 and it's 7 million pesos.
Yes.
which is almost $20,000 for this bottle of wine. That is incredible. Well, gently hand this back to you. Ooh, wow. Incredible. Thank you so much.
A pleasure.
Now that we've tried just 3 of the 15,000 bottles of Argentine wine that they have down here in the cellar, it's time to go back upstairs and find out if Don Julio truly has one of the best steaks in all of Latin America. So there is a lot of red pepper sprinkled inside of this sausage. This is a chorizo?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a chorizo sausage. Doing an absolutely terrible job cutting it. Wow. It smells incredible in here. Oh. Wow. The sweet pepper that's scattered throughout the sausage really makes the meat so much more sweet, especially with like the seared, almost crunchiness of the outside. Wow. And actually, this wine is meant to be paired, or this sausage is meant to be paired with this wine. So we must indulge, I suppose. The first cut we have here is a skirt steak, and it is absolutely dripping. It's a bit more chewy than some of the other steaks that I've had. It feels like there's a little bit less fat than some of the other steaks that we've been trying, but still a really quality piece of meat. The moment we have been waiting for is finally here. They just cut this incredible sirloin steak right at our table. Also, the sweet potato they served it with, I've never seen sweet potato prepared like that. It almost looked like they put the potato inside of the fire. It was completely blackened on the outside. Cut it in half, smother it in butter, top it with a bit of salt, and then scoop it out of the casing of the skin of the sweet potato. Place it perfectly on here, right here on the plate, and now we have this absolutely gorgeous sirloin steak, perfectly pink in the middle. Flew across the world for this steak right here. This is definitely living up to the hype. Apparently, the perfect steak does exist. Wow. Marbled in a perfect amount of fat, but not too chewy, quite light actually. And the fat just dissolves away, almost like a butter in your mouth, with this incredible charred grilled steak, and paired with the perfect wine right here from 1959. Doesn't get much better than this. We are so lucky tonight because our new friend Maria, who is actually our guide from the other day, has invited us over to her apartment for a more genuine asado that's true to the typical Argentine. It's common for a lot of the apartments in Buenos Aires to have balconies, and they have some electric grills here. Unfortunately, it is against the law basically to have a charcoal grill for obvious reasons, but that's not stopping the locals here from having their asados once or twice a week all throughout the entire year. This is definitely contributing to why Argentines eat so much meat every year. But we're here, we're going to be cooking up all of the sausages and meats, eating them as they come off of the grill, and getting to know these locals, sharing stories over a good meal.
Huge entraña.
Very simple. It's good, clean cuts. Our time in Argentina is now coming to an end, and wow, I don't know if I've ever had that much red meat in my entire life. On this trip, I learned so much more than I was expecting. When I traveled here, I knew that I was going to be trying some of the best steaks on the entire planet. And what I was surprised to find was that there's so much more to it than that here in Argentina. The asado culture is not just about the meat, because I could definitely take all of the different experiences that we had going to so many different places and tell you which one was my favorite. But what I found the most interesting is that it actually doesn't necessarily matter where you are to have an asado. It's mainly about the camaraderie of coming together with friends, with family, even with strangers in our case, and having good conversations that are shared over a beautiful meal. So I actually cannot wait to bring this cultural custom home with me. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, and if you want more weekly content, everything from travel hacks to bucket list destinations and behind the scenes updates, don't forget to check out my newsletter at lexilimitless.com/newsletter, or you can sign up through the description below. So until next time, let's push our limits.